Hello, guys. Thank you for watching, and gals, I should say. Thank you guys for watching the Around the Ballpark podcast. My name is Mike Redman, alongside Darren Redman, and this episode of 30 Parks in 30 Days, we are covering the Athletics, who play in a city in California named Sacramento. And I think we can only call them the Athletics. I want to call them the Sacramento Athletics. But Darren, am I right? Are we just supposed to call them the Athletics? Is that the deal?
Well, that's sort of what the non-written kind of thing is. Like we call it the Athletics or the A's or the Athletics, but Sacramento. But yes, it's Athletics.
The Athletics. Okay. Well, the Athletics, before we talk about the Athletics, and we have quite a few things to say, we would like to find out what is Nashville Tax Solutions and where can they be contacted. They are a loyal fan of our show, sponsor of our show from the very beginning. When we had under 100 subscribers, they believed in us from day one. So we want to give them their proper shout out and their time here. Darren, please let our listeners know a little bit about Nashville Tax Solutions.
Well, Chris Bennett and Nashville Tax Solutions are winners, right? And they really know how to maximize a person's taxes, but they also know what a winner is. They go to Chris Bennett goes to the Super Bowl, goes to all these great events, and you know what? When we first started, we couldn't play foursome. We couldn't play a foursome of tennis with the amount of people we had watching us. And since that time, we have a live show every Sunday night. We have a podcast. You have the Monday night show. We have 30 Parks in 30 Days. The list goes on and on. Chris Bennett is a winner. We like aligning ourselves with him. And oh, by the way, knock, 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 knock.
Who's there?
Nashville Tax Solutions is now in Palm Bay and Fort Pierce. And if you're struggling with tax issues, whether you're behind on filings, dealing with a lien, or just need expert advice, Nashville Tax Solutions is here to help. Their team knows the in and outs of tax relief and is ready to fight for you. But don't just take Mike's word for it. Don't take my word for it. Listen to what some of the clients have written in and told us. Chris Bennett and his team saved me from a financial nightmare. They're knowledgeable, they're clear, and they're compassionate. So don't let tax troubles keep you up at night. Just call 855-627-4829 or visit NashvilleTaxSolutions.com or just email them at info@NashvilleTaxSolutions.com. Do it today. Nashville Tax Solutions, because tax problems deserve a real solution.
Thank you. And we are, like we said, we're smack dab. We're actually right in the middle of tax season. So get it done before baseball season starts. You'll be happy you do. Get it out of the way. And they will get you through it. If you're stressing about it, they are the people to talk to. So thank you, Christopher Bennett and Nashville Tax Solutions. Outstanding job, and congratulations on that second location. Super, super cool. So with that said, we are here tonight to talk about the Athletics. And so right off the bat, what I think I like to do is kind of remind our listeners where they finished in 2024 and where I think they will wind up in 2025. So I do see an increase this year in wins for them, surprisingly. So last year they finished 69-93, which doesn't sound great, but they actually overachieved, if that's possible. And they finished in fourth place. So I do see another fourth place finish. This is going to be a very difficult, I think, out of all the divisions in Major League Baseball, with some subtractions and stuff to predict. So I'm keeping them in the fourth place spot, but I do see an increase of 6 wins. So I'm looking at a fourth place finish, 75-87, of course, not making the playoffs. Darren, do you see them above or below their 69 win total of last year?
So here's the funny thing. I think that they will play an enjoyable brand of baseball if management, and that is from ownership on down, can tune in and do things the right way. Because, listen, nobody likes everybody to take a break. Nobody likes where they do this load management, right? Other teams. Hear me out what I have to say, because I was thinking about this for a while, and I truly believe this. But if you are, let's say, the Yankees, the Orioles, the Red Sox, right? One of these teams that come from the East Coast, where are you going to rest your players when you go out west? where might you have that fifth starter, sixth starter throw? If the A's can take advantage of that, I think, again, you hit it right on the head. I think they improve that way. They improve because the other teams are going to come in. We're playing in a minor league park. There's nothing to do. Yeah, sure, it's the state capital, but nothing to do. It's Sacramento. It's a minor league ballpark. The amenities are terrible. And again, I know this park. I've been to this park numerous times. My son actually played an outdoor hockey game in this park. So I'm very, very familiar with this park. You've been there. You've been to Space Coast Stadium? That's it. That's literally it. But I think they could use that to their advantage. I'm sorry to keep talking.
No, that's fine. And, this is a weird situation because we're going to be in 2025 with two teams playing in minor league parks this year. So be interesting to see how that pans out. But the reason I believe that I see that 6-win increase, there's really not much in the lineup that really jumps off the page at you, of course. But that rotation headed by former Met Luis Severino, I think that's an outstanding pickup to me. There were conversations that had to have been had, even if the Mets made it clear they weren't able to bring Severino back. This is a proven winner now, and so he's not going to go someplace just to collect a paycheck. This is a gamer, and so he believes that this is a team that could surprise some people. And another name I want to throw out to you is Jeffrey Springs. Unfortunately, the Rays have so much pitching that they had to let some go along the way, but Jeffrey Springs can be him and Severino can be that 1-2 punch. I know he's slotted in the 4 spot, but don't sleep on Jeffrey Springs. He is fantastic. And if he can stay healthy and avoid injury, I think they'll get some additional wins just on that starting rotation going deeper into games. So, but anyone on that lineup or rotation besides who I mentioned that jumps off at you?
I want to go back to Luis Severino. I mean, I don't want to just double up. I mean, Sears is great himself, but think about that. Severino's really good. I wanted to ask you, if I may just kind of turn things around just a little bit, why do you think he went there? I mean, he's going to be the anchor of that rotation, I think, for 3-4 years.
Yeah, I think that's why. I think he felt. I mean, obviously, I don't. You had to, ask him, like, do you think they have a chance to make the playoffs? He's going to say yes, but theoretically compete for a championship, no. But I think what happened last year is he's like, you know what? I am really good, and the world knows who I am now, and I want to go someplace. Some people want to go to someplace to establish that they're the guy. He wants to know that you can put this load on my shoulder. I'll take it, and you're going to want to be along for the ride because while 2025 might not be our year, I think, like you said, 3 to 4 years, he can be, perhaps, to say that he is the anchor of a rotation, number one, and then number two, everyone wants to be a part of it when the franchise does turn things around. So that would be my guess rather than just sneak in at a 4 or 5. I mean, if you look at as good as he is, if you look at a Los Angeles Dodgers rotation with 6 people right now, he might even fall at number 7 in that rotation, but he's good enough to be the ace on this team, and deservingly so. So,
well, listen, I think the left fielder Rook is going to surprise some people, do some things. But I wanted just to put a bow on my thought with Severino. Let me ask you, you're Severino. Let's say the money's the same. Do you want to pitch in Colorado and be a back-end person, 5th starter, 4th starter, give up a bunch of home runs because the ball just flies there? Or be the man in Sacramento, nice weather? I mean, think about it. I would jump at that.
Yeah, I think that's you hit the nail on the head. I think he's excited about that opportunity. He knows he wasn't going to be the guy in New York, and whatever reason why he couldn't resign there. But I think he made a great move for himself, and I would be excited to. A lot of times these teams, they don't have that guy, and they have that guy now. So that's exciting. At least that every other series you're going to get to see him. So that's super cool for them. And we look at their key pickups. We got Gio Urshela at third base as well. Key losses, they lost a bunch of people. No one really that jumps off the page. They lost a lot of starting pitching. They lost 4 of their 5 starters from 2024. Alex Wood, Ross Stripling, Paul Blackburn, Joe Boyle, all gone. So we got lots of new talent in there. So only 1 returning starting pitcher this year. The guys they lost, Ryan Noda, Toro, Nick Allen, they now are on to newer teams and whatnot. So this is a young lineup. We say this about the Athletics almost year after year. And those that Darren, like, if you with your thoughts on, since we're talking about the Athletics real quick on the sidebar, your thoughts on Moneyball and the impact of that movie, and does it still stand today in terms of up there on the upper echelons?
There is, and you more than me, right? We both love movies, but I mean, you love baseball and sports movies, and I'm trying to get there. I think the bloom is off the rose a little bit with Moneyball. I mean, it worked with the Red Sox, kind of, but it really, no. If your thought is, how do I take a mid to lower market team and get them to play competitively and maybe get into the playoffs, that's a success. But every time I watch that movie now, I'm impressed less and less.
So it was not so much a formula to success as it was. I think back to the Giants, and I know they had a few World Series runs, but do you remember the year when they won the World Series with a bunch of misfits? And I think they would, and that's not something I would be hesitant to say in front of their face. Like, I think they embraced that identity that they were a bunch of cast-offs and misfits. So I feel like it just the right pieces fell into place, but there was nothing strategic that got them there. I think it was just.
No, listen, I'm cutting you off for a good reason. I'll let you continue. I was out there when that happened with the Freak, with a whole bunch of the other guys that were there. That's exactly who they were. Just a mishmash bunch of goofy people that just love playing baseball together. But you're absolutely right. Matt Cain, all of them. Yeah.
It's so, I think it'll be a good time to be an Athletic fan, playing in a minor league stadium. It might be a little bit more difficult to get a ticket, maybe because the prices might be a little bit higher because there's less seats available and whatnot. But I think it should be a good time. And those enthusiasts and we've had quite a few on, Tony Voda, a big fan of ours and friend of ours, I should say, on the show, and others. We've had Ben on as well. But, to the opportunity now in the regular season to go to 2 new stadiums for major league games, that's got to be exciting, because once you hit that 30, knock out all 30 stadiums, you're like, okay, where do I go from here? So that's 2 more trips for people to make that they haven't been. They could cross that stadium off their list. So again, we're looking at, not a playoff year for Oakland, but a fun year, not a miserable team. This is a team that, if you had to place the teams in 5 different tiers, they'd probably be in that 4th tier, but they're not the worst of the worst. They're not laughing stock. They're slowly going to project up.
I can tell you one thing about the Athletics. They don't lay down. You're playing a team when you're playing them. I don't know when we're going to do the Marlins. Like, for example, they just are boring. Athletics try. We keep going back to Severino, but he's not going to put in he's just not going to throw in towel effort. He's going to pitch, and he's going to brush your back. He's going to do some things. When you watch the Athletics play, listen, I got 16 years of watching Athletics, and they should still be in Oakland. I'm sorry. That's all I'm saying. But
and
it hurts. It hurts.
And as we wrap this up too with the Athletics, another promising thing, they are the 11th ranked minor league system, and they went up from 25th to 11th in 1 year. So somebody somewhere is doing something. Their top prospect is a guy by the name of Nick Kurtz, first baseman, and they have another guy named Jacob Wilson. So that's an awesome growth to go from 25th to 11th in total farm system ranking. So perhaps some good eggs coming along. Hopefully they can stay there and not be traded off the trade deadline. So, but thanks all of you guys for joining us again. If you're an Athletics fans, be patient. I know, unfortunately, that's been the motto each year, but should be an exciting team. Should be a good time. It's baseball either way, even if it's not, it's baseball. So thanks all of you for joining us on 30 Parks in 30 days. It's been a lot of fun. We've got so much more coming your way. So until next time, until next episode, we'll see you around the ballpark.